Hi students, in this video we are going to discuss about task communication. So in the last video we have seen about multitasking system. In a multitasking system, multiple tasks or processes are running concurrently. Okay. So there will be a situation to exchange the data between the various processes or tasks. So the processor or task running on the operating system can be classified into two types: competing processes and cooperating processes. The competing processes will not share any data among themselves, but they share the system resources. But these cooperative processes, they share the data between them. Here, one process requires the data from other process to complete their execution. Okay, and so these communication or data sharing can be done by two methods. One is cooperation through sharing, cooperation through communication. In cooperation through sharing, the data can be exchanged through some shared resources. In cooperation through communication, any communication technique can be used for the communication. Okay, so the mechanism through which the task or process communicate with each other is known as inter-process communication or inter-task communication, IPC. Okay. Now we are going to see various types of IPC mechanisms only. There are three mechanisms: shared memory, message passing and remote procedure call. First one, shared memory. Okay. So here the processes which are going to be involved in that communication will be sharing the some memory location. Okay, so this memory location is called shared memory area. Okay, see, there are two processes, process 1 and process 2. Both are using this shared memory area. So whenever process 1 wants to send the data to process 2, it will write the data to this shared memory area, so that process 2 can read the data from this shared memory area. Okay, here there are two different mechanisms are used in shared memory. They are pipes and memory mapped object. First one, pipe. Pipe is a section of shared memory used by the process for the communication, and this pipe uses client server architecture only. So what is pipe client, what is pipe server means? The process which creates the pipe is known as pipe server, and the process which is connected with that pipe is known as pipe client. Okay, there are two types of communication: bidirectional communication and unidirectional communication. In bidirectional communication, both the process can perform read operation as well as write operation. But in unidirectional, the process can either do read operation or write operation. You can see here, this is the example for unidirectional. You can see the arrow, unidirectional arrow. There are two processes, process 1 and process 2. Process 1 wants to send the data to process 2. So it will write the data to that shared memory, means to that pipe which is created by server. Okay. So the process 2 can read the data from that memory location. Here the process 2 cannot perform write operation. Okay, this is about unidirectional. But in bidirectional, pipes allows both reading and writing at one end. Second one is memory mapped object. This memory mapped object is also a shared memory technique only, which is used by real-time operating system for allocating a shared block of memory which can be accessed by multiple processes simultaneously. Okay, here first initially the memory mapping object will be created and physical storage for it will be reserved and committed. Okay, so the process which wants to make a communication can map the entire physical area to its virtual address space. Okay. For example, process 1 wants to make a communication with process 2. So the process 1 can map its physical storage area with that virtual address space of process 1, and it can write the data to this virtual memory location, so that the process 2 can read the data from that memory location. This is about memory mapping object. Next one is message passing. This message passing, it is an synchronous or asynchronous message exchange mechanism used for inter-process communication. Synchronous in the sense it will not wait for acceptance, but asynchronous it will wait for acceptance. In message passing, there are three techniques. First one, message queue, mailbox, and signaling. Message queue. Okay, so the processes which wants to send the data to other processes can post the message to a first in first out queue, that is called message queue. Okay, so message queue is used to store the temporary data only. Okay, for example, there are two processes, process 1 and process 2. Instead of sending directly the data to process 2, the process 1 will send the data or will post the data to the first in first out queue, that is called message queue, so that the process 2 can read the data from message queue. Okay, in message queue we are using that send and receive method only. So sending is nothing but the process which wants to make a communication, which wants to send the data, will send the data to the message queue, and which wants to receive the data will receive the data from message queue. Okay, you can see process 1, process 2 are involved in the communication. Process 1 wants to send the data to process 2, so it will send the data to message queue. Process 2 will receive the data from message queue. Next one, mailbox. Mailbox is a special implementation of message queue. Okay, it is used in real-time operating system for inter-process communication. Okay, this is the method. It is created for posting the messages. Okay. Here the mechanism is the process which wants to send the data will create the mailbox. So it is a server. So server process will create the mailbox, and other processes can subscribe to that mailbox. So which are subscribed to that mailbox can receive the data from the server. Okay, for example, task 1 created the mailbox, so it is called a server, and task 2, 3, 4 are subscribed to that mailbox, so that task 2, 3, 4 can receive the data from task 1. Next one is signaling. Signaling are used for asynchronous notification mechanism. Signals will not carry any data and they are not queued also. They passes some notification signals. Okay. VxWorks real-time operating system kernel uses these signals for inter-process communication. The third one is remote procedure call. Okay. RPC, remote procedure call, is the inter-process communication mechanism used by the process to call the procedure of other process running on the same CPU or different CPU, which is interconnected in a network. Okay. So here also we have server and client. The server is nothing but the CPU or process which contains the process is known as server, and the client is the CPU or process which initiates the remote procedure call request, is known as client. Okay. So as I said, there can be two types. The one is the CPUs can be in the processors can be in a different CPU, so that will be interconnected through a network. Okay, so here process 1 is available with the CPU 1, process 2 is available with CPU 2, and the process 2 is having the procedure. So this is called server and this is called client. Okay, so this process makes the RPC request. Here the second type, both the processes are in same CPU. Both the processes are in same CPU, but the process 1 is calling the process 2's procedure. So these are about task communication. Thank you.